Baba Booey.
Welcome to an all-new Lay It Omni. Allow me to lay it on you. What's up, guys? I hope you're having an amazing day, because I am not. I already recorded this video once and I lost the entire audio file because I had my mic on mute. Press F to pay your respects. So excuse me if I'm not my usual perky, nice, and happy self today, okay? I'm a little annoyed. And I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I'm feeling kind of lazy, so I'm not even going to post the tweets and all that stuff. Just take my word for it, okay? When I say that something happened or someone tweeted this, they tweeted it, okay? Go ahead and put this video in the background or something like that, or just watch the gameplay if you enjoyed the gameplay, but that's pretty much all you're going to see. Today we're going to be talking about something interesting, okay? We're going to be talking about the drama between YouTuber Dream, Josh, and the internet stan culture. I don't really care too much about the drama between Dream and Josh, to be honest, but I do like the concept of talking about the stan culture that is involved. Before we get into anything, let me just give you guys a quick TLDR update on what's been happening, because to be honest, I've been out of the loop from the whole thing. I've been too busy making fun of Nintendo this week, but the entire fiasco managed to generate this pretty large discussion and debate on the interweb, so, you know, why not? Let's talk about it. So basically, there's this dude named Dream, okay? He's the biggest Minecraft YouTuber there is. The dude blew up pretty fast, kind of similar to like Corpse Husband is on how he's blowing up right now, and if you know who that is. And yeah, as you guys probably know, Minecraft is the largest game in terms of content and viewership on YouTube. So I'm sure you can only imagine how much influence this guy has. After all, he who rules the children rules YouTube. Well, he got into this spat with this dude named Josh on Twitter. Josh is a popular streamer. I think he's a part of this group named SMP Live, which is a group of streamers who play Minecraft. It was created by a popular streamer named Call Me Carson. Dream's also in the group as well. Schlatt, who we talked about earlier in the series, is also a part of that group. Anyway, so what had happened was Addison Rae, the second largest follow person on TikTok, received some Dream merchandise. I think it was a cup or a shirt, I don't know, something like that. During a live stream she hosted, she was showing off the merchandise, and Dream stans invaded the chat and began spamming, "Shoo shoo, I say, get away from Dream." And which Dream later replied on Twitter, "Embarrassing as hell, no one should do that crap, makes me feel very uncomfortable." Addison Rae was kind of upset and hurt by these fans, and she started tweeting things talking about, you know, like, hey, this kind of sucks, and yeah. Anyway, Josh then came to Twitter, enlightened and awoken by the gods of clarity with these string of tweets. If you are a stan or a part of a TWT group, I don't know what the TWT means, and I don't care to look it up, or participate in any activities associated with the culture, please unfollow. I cannot tolerate it any longer, and I wish to have nothing to do with it. I don't care if it has to do with me or somebody else, this culture is toxic. Every experience I have ever had with the community is negative. I am sick of looking at Instagram and seeing that I am tagged in yet another edit made with some garbage phone app. I am tired of random people obsessing over me, and more so obsessing over people such as Dream. These people are unwell mentally. Their obsessions with online personalities only amplify this. Their principles and views are never their own, but are rather those of the various content creators which they watch. They are a malicious hive mind who exist in a bubble in which immoral actions are taken by an individual simply because their moral frame of reference is people who do similar things. Their worldview is completely insane and get exponentially worse because of it. Twitter has helped amplify this as the platform has become overrun by this garbage, so please, if you are a part of any of these circles, I want nothing to do with you or your collective hive mind. It's disgusting. I believe primarily in the individual, and the culture individual does not exist in the collective that is the stan or TWT community. It is repulsive and entirely against my principles. If you are part of one of these communities, I suggest you leave. Even if leaving means losing your friends, you should do it, as those people most likely weren't your friends to begin with. This beast needs to be slaughtered. It is horrifying that it even exists. In which Dream on his second Twitter account replied, "You're an idiot." So yeah, Josh replied, "Good argument. I am glad that instead of actually making any attempt to prove me wrong, that you instead chose to reply with insults. It proves you are immature as your child viewers and your bandwagoning friends." And then Dream replied in a tweet that he later deleted, "Just because you think you have 1000 IQ because you passed middle school English doesn't make you any better than the rest of us. Never argue with an idiot. They will drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Feel free to read my tweets for how I feel though." Smiley face. So to wrap this whole stupid conversation up, basically Dream tweeted, "Stans, a group of people trying to meet other people with similar interests while expressing this interest through shared morals, love, and creativity." Basically saying that if you're a stan, it's a good thing. Followed by, you just don't like the same thing as them, and that's okay. Don't use the crimes of the few to punish the many. Anyway guys, those are the string of tweets that started this whole stan debate, I guess, as you guys can see from the numbers on their tweets. Both of these guys have a huge following, and a simple back and forth disagreement on Twitter is enough to generate trending hashtags where one side fights against the other and vice versa. Now, there are more tweets that have been made about this subject, okay? Some are from Josh's second Twitter account, more from Dream as well, but I'm not reading all that, definitely not twice. Like I said, I already recorded this video once on mute, and I barely have the energy to keep going. But the end all be all is that Josh stans stands behind what he says and still feels the overall stan culture is bad, while Dream thinks stan culture is good. But yeah, it doesn't quite end there. Now people are commenting on Dream's most recent voice tweet, which apparently is addressing racial injustice. I'll play the clip.
I just woke up, so I hope I don't sound too bad, but I just wanted to put it out here that I love you and I care about you and that it will be okay. And I know that probably doesn't mean much to people who don't already follow me or look up to me or anything, but truly, I have your back, and my heart goes out to all people of color that follow me and that don't, and everybody who's been a victim of racism or discrimination or just horrible injustices. My heart really breaks every time I read a story about, the next new thing that's happened, and it feels like it just never ends. But I know that we can work together and we can stand strong, and it'll be okay in the end.
Wow, thanks Dream. As a black guy, I feel safer already. Jokes aside, that's pretty much the end of the feud, and this is the part where I give my take. I'll be addressing two things. Number one, stan culture and what I think about it and how it relates back to the conversation. And number two, I'll also want to talk about this video that Dream just dropped. In fact, since we just played the video and it's fresh in your heads and your minds, let's discuss it. Dream basically tweets a blanket statement that says, "I love you all. Racism is bad. I'm sad that racism exists. By the way, did I already tell you guys that I love you all? And I think everything is going to be okay." That's the TLDR of the video, and while as a member of the colored community I appreciate the sentiment, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to take from this. Mind you, I don't think Dream said anything incredibly wrong in his voice tweet, okay? He just said, kind of the obvious things that a person would say if you're a regular decent human being, There's no call to attention, there's no naming the victims, there's no spreading awareness. It's just racism is happening and it is bad. It's like an essay that a second grader would make. So I can see why a lot of people kind of looked at this and thought like, wow, Dream is just kind of just, talking out his ass or just trying to take advantage of the Black Lives Matter movement or something, but he, doesn't really mean what he says. However, I think the people who watch this don't even realize that it's actually taken out of context and there's more to the story. If you go to his main page, he says, "Always heartbreaking to see any kind of discrimination still alive in the world. Justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." And I guess he tweets some more things, but eventually says, "I will also be donating $1 per every coin I get on this upcoming MCC to various injustices. Can work on the specifics so I can try and tie my work and activism together. I love you guys, please stay safe." And he also posts the GoFundMe for Casey Christopher Goodson Jr. In case you guys don't know, a 23-year-old black man by the name of Casey Goodson was shot by the police a few days ago while entering his own home. His family said that he had just returned from the dentist carrying Subway sandwiches and was unlocking the door to go inside his grandmother's house when he was shot multiple times in the back by police. Apparently, Casey was also carrying a weapon. However, Ohio is an open carry state and you are legally allowed to carry a weapon, but this happened like 4 days ago, Friday, December 4th. So I think if you take the video that he made on his one Twitter account and then also take the tweets and the actions that he made on his regular account, that it all makes sense. Now, I guess the other issue is like the timing of the video and the timing of the, supporting the Black Lives Matter movement kind of thing. Right now, Dream is in a lot of people's radars and currently not been seen in the best of lights. Personally, I don't think he's done anything incredibly wrong. I mean, he's like no Pyrocynical or one of the countless other YouTubers right now that are being canceled for like dating little kids. However, I guess people feel a certain kind of way whenever you kind of, talk about racism and how it's bad, give that whole generic racism is bad speech followed by, I love you during what might be a critical time where people are questioning your character. Some people might find that a bit sus. I'm not going to say he's purposely being manipulative, but I do think indirectly it could be manipulative. However, in my opinion, I think what he is doing, it has a very strong net positive, okay? Regardless of what you think his intentions are, he is bringing awareness to a crime that occurred that helps people and the whole racial injustice that's happening in America. And he's doing it on one of the biggest platforms that he has, Twitter. So yeah, maybe he is doing it. Back when that whole George Floyd thing happened, there were plenty of big YouTubers who were basically like, yeah, Black Lives Matter. I think Jeffree Star did it and Shane Dawson did it. Like people who were being canceled were like, oh man, we love black people. And kind of throwing away that hashtag in a way to kind of absolve them from like whatever hot water they were already in. So yes, I already know that kind of gets thrown around in a way to use to kind of increase your reputation. But like I said before, I do think it's a net positive at the end of the day, so I don't really care and I'm glad that he did. It's kind of like what I said before when it comes to fundraisers and charity. A lot of these big YouTubers and people who raise money for funds and charity, they're using it to write off against their income so they don't have to pay any taxes. And they're basically essentially collecting a bunch of people to, raise money to basically essentially help them to reduce how much taxes they have to pay. But I do do think the net positive is the fact that people are putting money into charity versus it going to the IRS. So I'm 100% okay with that. But yeah, let's go back to stan culture, okay? Stan culture is basically when a person has a ton of diehard fans who will support and stand behind a person no matter what. They're basically super fans, so if you take the S and replace it with an F, that's what you get stans. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with stans. Like, I'm a stan. You know, I personally stan Sakurai. You know, I stan Reggie. I stan Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter. But then again, I think the way I say stan is a bit more moderate. My brain and feelings aren't so intertwined into the livelihood of these people that I feel the need to protect them or act out in anger towards people who don't support them. And I think what separates a fan from a stan is the amount of influence that person has over them. As I said before, it's safe to say that Dream has stans who will raid people's chats and personally attack or ratio other people if Dream decides to not to like someone or something. It's there, it exists, and we've seen it. Now, not all of Dream's fans are stans, okay? But I think it's important to acknowledge that there is a difference and that it does exist. To pretend that it doesn't exist, I think is kind of weird, especially if you're the person being stanned, you know? I think that is the point that Josh was trying to make earlier within his tweets. However, I think Dream wanted to defend his entire user base rather than point that out, you know? That there's this toxic fan base that exists within the Dream fan base that isn't healthy. Thing is, though, is that very few creators of his stature are going to say, hey guys, some of you guys are supporting me to an unhealthy level and you should stop that, because that message will hurt your influence and it also might bleed into the people who are just regular fans. You see what happens when you argue on Twitter? Nothing actually gets discussed. Anyway, to wrap things up, this is how I feel, okay? Stan culture does exist. I do think stan culture overall is bad, the extreme versions of it. I think some people have unhealthy obsessions over persons or things that can create environments where they do toxic things to other people as a result. I also think it's important to recognize the distinction between standing and being a huge fan, and I think that distinction deals with how much actual influence that person has over their audience. And as a celebrity, if you know you have that much influence, you can easily manipulate them by saying things you don't mean or 100% fully stand by, or take opportunities to strengthen that bond, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally. It's basically very easy to manipulate these people. Personally, for me, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Y'all don't know me and I don't know you, okay? There's too many of you for me to get to know each and every one of you. Like, it's physically impossible for me to do that. And you guys only see what I put on camera, okay? You don't know me personally, despite how much of my personal life I put on camera or how transparent I am with you guys even now. I will say that the content that I make and the person that I am now is very, very closely resembles the person that I am, you know, in real life. But again, there's only just that part of me. So at a personal level, I don't love you guys, okay? Because I'm incapable. It's physically impossible to love you at a very personal level from person to person. However, I do love you guys collectively as a whole, okay? I 100% appreciate and love the collective group of you who watch and support me and encourage me to do better and better and to make me feel better and encourage me as one large single entity. Some people might disagree with that concept of love, but I'm for it. And in return, you guys might like or love me for what I have to offer, or whatever I've done to help aid in your life or your day-to-day activities. I think that's fine, okay? I think that level of care and appreciation and calling that love is 100% acceptable. But I guess to me, you know, if you want to keep it real, going any further than that feels a bit dubious and a little unauthentic. And voicing to your audience that you love every single one of them at a personal level, like at a human level, like, I don't think that's the word. I think the word you're looking for is appreciate. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for this episode of Laid Omni. You've just been laid. Moral of the story: standing is bad, but if you're gonna stand anybody, look, stand me. Don't stand Dream. Like, dang, like real talk, where are my stands at, okay? I need an army of stands to help me when someone tries to cancel me, you know? I need someone to be there for me when someone makes me mad on Twitter so we can go ratio them. I need that. I don't care if it's manipulative or not, okay? Stand by me like a BTS army. I want that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this whole Dream/Jaws drama situation. How you guys feel about cancel culture as a whole? I'll be reading the comments below. I'm out. I'm tired. I barely made this video, man. I was so sad when I made this video and it was muted. I was just like, God dang. It was like 25 to 30 minutes of me kind of just rambling, bro. So I'm just kind of like, bruh. But look, do me a solid. If you made it to the end of the video, please leave a like. It does mean the world to me. And guys, subscribe. We're getting closer and closer to 200,000 by the end of the year. I feel like we can make it, you know, but you know what? I tell you what, if we make it, I'll come over to every single one of your houses, every single one of your places, every single last one of you. And I'll tell you how much I love you, because I love every single one of you just like I would my own mother. Okay. How about that? That enough to get you to come on board? Let's go, bro. Let's go, Stans. Jokes aside, guys, for real, take it easy. I love you guys as a whole. Stay hydrated and have a good one.